Shalom, shalom. It's your
Shalom.
brother, it's your brother Denal. Boy, early in the chat, man. Shalom to the brother Jeremy, man. Shout out. We got GOCC in the building. Shalom to the brother. First and foremost, we want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of his son, who is an instrument of salvation for the nation. The nation of who? The nation of Israel, right? And we reverence him in everything that we do. Today is going to be a short video, a short lesson, man, but it's going to be some good edification. We're going to dive into one of my favorite topics in the Bible, which is faith, right? Shalom to the sister. Shalom to the sister Kayla, man, right? Which is faith. And before we're gonna start with a short little video clip, man. I hope you guys' week is going okay. What's today? Wednesday. Yep, today's Wednesday. Shout out to the Yankees, man. I'm getting into baseball now, and I think I found my team, man. Shout out to the Yankees, man. They got a couple of Jakes on there. Southern and Northern Kingdom going crazy, right? I think they played today and they won against the Angels, man. But without further ado, man, let me share my screen. I sent this video out to a couple brothers, man, that I know, man, just saying this pastor, he's an Edomite, but this Edomite pastor, man, he kind of made a good point. He said, "Go Rangers, man. Them Texans, man. But I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna play this video clip real quick, and I might stop it after he says some things, but I might play it all the way through. You never know. So we'll see. Let me know if you can hear this, though. Give me a thumbs up, Azrael, if we can hear this.
You know what I noticed not too long ago? Me and Sequoia go to the same gym. Me and Sequoia lift the same weights, different sizes. Me and Sequoia listen to the same music over the speakers at the gym. How come me and Sequoia don't look the same? How come we look different? It's the gym's fault. It's the weight's fault. No, listen, watch this. When he leaves the gym, he takes.
It's funny, man. It's funny because one of my, just from him saying, how come he looks different, right? This, that, and the third. And I had a high school classmate, I guess you would say, right? And we were in this group chat together, and he said, "Hey, man, this is a real question." Because I know he's not really religious or anything like that. He says, has God ever talked to any of you guys? Like, have any of you guys ever heard an audible voice or anything like that? And everybody in the chat started chiming in, man. Of course, we had some Christians in there and whatnot. But at the end of the conversation, he says, "Well, how come you guys are witnessing these things and I haven't, right? How come you guys look different than me, right?" And it boils down to what he's about to get into in this video, but it boils down to, we try to tell him, it's like, bro, the Most High God is not going to operate in your life. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in him, and two, if you don't have no relationship with him, right? I had jokingly said, I said, man, regular people don't just willy-nilly talk to strangers. You know what I'm saying? And so, at this point, you're a stranger. You're kind of worse than a stranger because you don't even like him for real, and you're expecting him to talk to you, right? And it's just not how it works. I'm gonna keep playing this video though. That was kind of a sidebar.
Takes the gym with him. When he leaves the gym, he goes, "I went to the gym, so I can't eat that. I went to the gym, so I can't do that." When I leave the gym, I want the gym to justify the rest of my week. Well, I went to the gym, so I can't eat that. I went to the gym, so I can't do that.
Man, it's crazy. Like the brother said, man, he's saying some profound stuff. He's saying that the other brother, he goes to the gym and he takes the gym with him. That's why the title of this video is "Bring It Home with You," man. Right? When you in this truth, bring it home with you. He says, man, when he goes home, he brings the gym with him. Right? So he reads, like for instance, this Bible, man. He reads this Bible. He goes out. He applies it. It's applicable. Right? He applies this stuff. Nah, I just read that. I can't do that. I can't eat that. On the other hand, he reads the same Bible, you know what I'm saying? He goes to the same gym, right? But he justifies what he does by the little good that he does, which is reading the Bible. So when he goes out, I mean, it's just kind of like Christianity, you know what I'm saying, where they say, oh, because I'm a Christian, because Jesus Christ died for my sins, I can eat whatever I want. He made everything clean, right? And it's just adverse to what the principles of the Bible are. And the crazy part is, man, I know he's a Christian, right? And so it's funny, man, because you know the stuff he's saying is profound, but I know for a fact that well, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just guessing as Christians, man, I know they have a zeal, but a lot of it is what he's saying is going to the gym and not applying it. Which so it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because at the end of the day, man, that's kind of the whole Christian doctrine in a sense, right? But I'm gonna keep playing.
How many, you ever been to the same church, had different faith? I read the same Bible. How come you have faith for miracles and I don't? How come you've got faith and I don't? It's not God's fault. It's not the church's fault. It's not the book's fault. It's not the Bible's fault. The worship song is not. He lets the gym change his life. I use the gym to justify my life.
That's the point, man. Use this truth to change your life. That's true repentance. That's true repentance. Don't use it to justify your actions, right? Because that's what Christians do in a sense, right? I went to church today, so tomorrow I can wild out. Or adverse to that, I went to the club, so let me go to church tomorrow to make up for it, right? As if it's that easy. You know what I'm saying?
How many times have you said on Friday?
And I guess that's the end of the video right there. But let's see. But come on, man, that's a video. Shout out to the brother Welded, right? Shout out to him. Shalom. He just cut Christian doctrine. That's what's crazy, man. He's a Christian. He don't even know he just destroyed his own doctrine, right? What's the doctrine called? The doctrine of the Nicolaitans, right? The doctrine of the Nicolaitans, meaning since you have faith, you don't have to do nothing else, right? He just cut the Christian doctrine, man. That's a mighty proverb right there for today, right? But nonetheless, man, I like the video. He and as we utilize this video to further push this edification, we can take some good things out of it. And these are some of the things that I got from it. Let me share my screen real quick. I'm gonna present this first precept. If you could read that for me, brother.
Oh man, the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 8. This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Come on, man. Right. And that's what it is essentially in a nutshell. They draw nigh to them with their mouth. They go to church, got the hands up. A lot of them love the praise and worship portion, right? But with their hearts is their minds, right? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your heart can't actually think. So we know the heart is talking about your mind when you read this Bible. Their heart is far from me, meaning their intentions, their mentality is far from him. How do we know that? It's because the actions that they do, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. As I think, so I'm gonna do. If I'm thinking about these law, statutes, commandments, if I'm thinking about the Most High, I'm gonna do those things, right? But a lot of us, well, I won't say a lot of us, but there is a portion of people in this world that honor with their lips, but their mentality is far from him. And that's why you got Jake looking up there big and buff in the spirit, right? And you got the other person where, you know what I'm saying, the gym, the weight's really not working for him. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm led to believe Jake was probably, he was probably, juicing up a little bit because I don't know, but
Yeah.
nonetheless,
Also, a lot of people got a lot of mouth work, right? Like it says, your lips may be close to the gym. You may know about the gym. You may know certain workouts to do, right? You may tell people that the gym is beneficial and that, yeah, you should be going, but are you actually going? And then when you go, right, you got a lot of people in the gym that don't work out, right? I don't know when the last time some of y'all been to the gym, but some people go to the gym and they just walk around, talk to people, make jokes, right? Be at the front desk, but they don't do their workout, right? So they're far from the work, right? Their lips is there, right? They show up there, but they're far from the actual work, man.
right, man. And I was watching a video. It was on I think Jubilee, right? And the topic was fat versus fit. And just like the brother said, there's a guy. He was I guess morbidly obese, and he was arguing with you guys know who Myron is. You know who Myron is, Azrael? He's the guy that people. You said what?
Be a comedian.
Nah, he's the guy, man. Real skinny dude. He be saying a lot of misogynistic things on social media. I think his brand is like something fit. I don't know. He's one of those people that they don't like. He's like after Kevin Samuels died, he kind of emerged on the scene. You probably seen him if I show you a video of him, but he was arguing with uh with Myron, because Myron was saying, man, you go to the gym, you can lose the weight. You know what I'm saying? It's a mentality. And he was saying, I go to the gym every day, right? I spend hours in the gym. And Myron was like, pretty much calling like, bull crap. You know what I'm saying? And if you are going to the gym, you're not working, because there's no way you can go to the gym and not lose any weight at all. And you say you've been going to the gym for a year, 2 years now, every day, right? And so it's just like you were saying.
Fresh and fit.
You said what? Yeah, fresh and fit. You see him?
Nah, the sister Isis put it in the chat.
Yeah. Fresh and fit. Myron, let me see if I can pull up a picture real quick. But nonetheless, man, that's kind of the same.
Oh, I know who you talking about. He be talking crazy.
Yeah, man. It's a Jubilee video on YouTube.
He talking about like alpha males and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's a video on YouTube. I believe it's called like Fat versus Fit. It's a crazy video, man. I think I'm gonna show you. If you want it, man, DM me or text me if you got my number, and I'll send it to you, man. It's a pretty good watch. But nonetheless, man, it's pretty much piggybacking on this too, right? So now we're gonna dive into faith, right? Hebrews 11:1. Can you bring this out for me?
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Right. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, meaning faith is pretty much the being of something that is hoped for, right? And so when you put this stuff together, you hope for something, right? And then let me slow down, right? It's the substance of things hoped for, right? So it's the things that come with you hoping for something, right? That is what faith is. Matter of fact, let's get this really quick. Let me see if it'll allow me to move from this. Let me get this definition. And we go on.
A lot of people gotta, speaking of the gym, a lot of people, if they don't see major results, they give up, man. 1 pound isn't enough. 5 pounds isn't enough. A lot of people, they gotta see a big drastic change for them to keep going to the gym, right? And that proves it's a lack of faith, man, because you have to be able to endure and take it one step at a time. That's one of the fruits of the spirit is long suffering. You can't long suffer and take it and pace yourself every day, right? You're gonna lose faith, right? But your faith is don't grow weary in well doing. So I'm gonna keep doing it even if I don't see any change, because I got faith that one day I'm going to wake up and I'm just going to be a different person. But that's why a lot of people show up to the gym, and like the title says, they don't bring it home with them. They start eating terrible, diet crazy. They don't do no ab work at home, no push up at home. No, they don't do nothing at home and expecting a change just because they spent 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the gym.
Con, man. Con. Right? Sometimes you gotta look at it like the angels, man. You know, the angels rejoice over that one soul. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta look at it like that, man. You lost that 1 pound, you should rejoice, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't go home and eat no cake and ice cream, but you know, be happy. You know, it's
Yeah, you know, like when we out there on the corner evangelizing, right? Street teaching, it might be a long day. It might have been raining, it might be cold, but we out there, you know, trying to stop whoever will listen. It might be a long day. We might not get nobody for real. And then out of nowhere, you get that one good conversation, right? Now we could have gave up, went home. We could have been like, oh, it's a slow day. Let's get out of here. But man, you rejoice over one. So if you got faith, you know the Most High gonna send you somebody, right? And even if he don't send you somebody, you back at it again next week, right? And that's what having faith does to you, is even when you can't see results, you know results are happening.
Con, man, and we talk about all the time, man. We go out there, you know, we say, well, I say, you know, rain, sleet, or snow, them Israelites are trained to go, right? And so it all comes down to, you know, we've committed to going out there on the Shabbat and evangelizing, and it's all comes down to you just presenting your body as a living sacrifice. You don't know what's going to happen when you go out there, but as long as you're presenting your body, right, letting the Lord use you, he's gonna send you somebody, man. I don't think, I can't remember the last time we went out and we didn't just talk to anybody, right? You know, I mean, there's days where it's raining super hard. There was a day where it was like freezing outside, and we were like, man, we probably not gonna see nobody. It's a ghost town out there, and we ended up having a real nice conversation with two Israelite sisters and a Moabite lady. You know what I'm saying? But those conversations were very fruitful. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what's going to happen. You just got to present your body as a living sacrifice. That's where faith comes in for. You know what I'm saying? Having that faith. But nonetheless, man, I wanted to go into this definition. It's not even showing. Let me see. I got to share my screen again.
Shalom to the brother Q. And no, we don't mean no Q dog. You feel me?
God. I still don't even know what the Q stand for though. I don't know his name. So like, brother
at the gym yesterday, I heard somebody on the court say it.
Yeah, brother. I don't know the brother name, man. But now I want to pull out this definition really quick. It's the definition of hoping, and I'm trying to draw a point here. Right? Can you go ahead and read that for me?
Hoping. The definition of hoping: to want something to happen or to be true, and usually have a good reason to think that it might. Hope. Right. Hope for I'm hoping for an interview next week. She's hoping she won't be away too long. Hope. I hope that she'll win.
Right. And so I got it pulled up here on my phone because you know how Google works, man. You Google something on your phone, something pops up. You try to Google on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Something else pops up. But when the first time I searched it, man, it gave me a couple of synonyms with it as well, right? But I want to touch on this too. It says to want something to happen or to be true, and usually have a good reason to think that it might, right? Why would somebody have a good reason to think that something might happen? Right? 9 times out of 10 is because they have put something into it, right? I think I'm hoping I get an A on that test I just took. Why? Because you did the work to study for it, and you think that you might have it, you might get an A, right? It's the same thing for this truth, right? Faith, the substance of things hoped for. We're hoping to be a part of the elect in the end days, right? We're hoping that Christ comes back and saves us. Right.
Shout out to the hopeful elect.
Shout out to the hopeful elect, man. But right? Something has to be within us to be hoping for that, right? Why do we expect that to happen? It's not just because the Bible says it, but it's also because he says if we do X, Y, and Z, that we should expect X, Y, and Z, right? So when we're hoping for something, there's work that goes into it for sure, right? One thing that we've touched on before, right? It's like this: if if you're waiting, if you haven't seen somebody in a long time, and you're throwing a party, a get together, and you invite them, they said that they're coming, right? And you know that your friend is fashionably late, but you haven't seen them in a long time, so you're excited. Um, the whole party, you're kind of, up, kind of head on a swivel. You kind of expecting them. You keep walking to the front door, peeking out the blinds, right? You're hoping for something, right? Meaning that your mind is focused on that person showing up. And you have good reason to think that person showing up. Why? Because you made the gesture of inviting this person. You reached out to them, you did the work, right? And now while you're hoping, you're still doing the work, right? Why is that? Because you're actually taking the time to look for this person, not just sit back and meditate and envision this person. You're actually taking the time to go to the door. Your head's on a swivel. You're hoping for this person. You're actually looking for this person, right? And these are actions, right? Some of these synonyms that it says was to expect, right? To anticipate, to look for. When you're looking for something, 9 times out of 10, is you're putting some type of work into it, right? Let's go to what I have. Now I gotta exit out of this one more time.
Yeah, man. When it comes to the truth, man, making it real, an example would just be applying the words that you read out of the script, out of the text to your life, right? It's not enough just to talk the talk. It's not enough just to read it, right? You got to actually dissect what you're reading and apply it to your life, right? Not change the interpretation thereof. Nah, don't do that. But apply it to your life, right? That's where you see the difference in people. When you see somebody successful, right? You have a lot of people that come into the truth and they're miserable all the time. Um, they are struggling. They feel like they're not successful. It's because they're not applying what they're reading, right? They're reading about it. They're reading about the truth, and they're being consumed with reading it, but they're not applying it to be successful. They're not applying the wisdom to their life, right? They're not really taking it home after they read. What do I mean by that? I mean, you're not looking at how to be a hard worker. You're not looking at, oh, David was a shepherd before he was a king. Maybe I got to do some scut work, right? Shout out to Grey's Anatomy. Maybe I got to do some scut work. Maybe I got to do something that's dirty before I can do something that I love, right?
Right.
But the opposite of today is just that. It's the opposite, right? We see everything on social media. We want that new truck now. We want that great job now. We want that big house, that barn dominium now. But we got to put that work in. So the Bible teaches all things, man. The Bible teaches you to get it out the mud. The Bible teaches you wisdom that you can actually apply to your life. But a lot of us, man, like the dude said in the video, what did he say? He said, I show up to justify my life. I show up just so I can claim to be a Christian. I read just so I can say I read, right? I go to church just so I can say that I'm there, right? We talked to everybody on the corner, and when number one reason for not listening to us is I'm gonna be at church on Sunday, right? To justify their life, but they don't let it change their life.
Right. Right. Con, man. And so what we're about to go into now, man, is something that we utilize when we're evangelizing, just to paint the picture. Normally we go to Ephesians 2 and 5, just because a lot of people, when questioned about their salvation, right, they say that they're saved through grace, right? Saved by grace through faith, right? And so a lot of times they say we're saved by grace alone. That's not in the Bible. Sometimes they say we're saved by faith alone, right? That's not in the Bible. Um, and these are doctrines that are being pushed. But to break it down, nice and simple form, we always love to take them to James, just to paint this picture. So if you can go to James 2:17, if you can read that for me.
The book of James, chapter 2 and verse 17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone.
So one of the questions we always ask them is that, yes, we agree with Ephesians chapter 2, 5, I think 2 and 5, it might be 5 and 2, or 5 and 18. I don't know. My mind's drawing a blank. It's in Ephesians though, right? Yes, we agree with Ephesians when it says we are saved through grace by faith, right? Or saved by grace through faith, right? And it's important to know that we can. A lot of Israelites, like to run from that, But the Bible says what it says, and it's our duty to agree with the Bible because it all harmonizes at the end of the day, right? And so when you're looking at this, one of the questions we always ask them is, "That's great. Now that faith that you're talking about, is it dead or alive?" Or we'll ask them a question like, "The faith that you're talking about, does it have to be dead or alive?" Right? And a lot of times, sometimes it jars them. They don't know what to say, or sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, it's alive for sure." And I said, and we'll say, "How do you know that your faith is alive?" I don't know, because I go to church, I pray all the time, I said, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But let's go to James. What does James say? Even so, faith, if it has not works, is dead, being alone, right? And of course, we know that these works, man, are what the Bible considers to be, part of our righteousness, which is these laws, statutes, and commandments. And so not only do we take them to James 2:17, we kind of give them the whole spiel, and we go through verse by verse because it paints a picture perfectly. So let's go to verse 18 real quick.
James 2 and verse 18. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
It says, show me thy faith without thy works, and I'll show you my faith by my works, right? That's how you know a man, right? By the fruit that he bears, right? That's how you know what a man stands for, who a man is. And it all comes down to, oh yeah, you say you in the gym, but your fruits lack it, right? Because as soon as I see you out in public, you buying ding dongs, right? It's, and it's the same thing for faith. Show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. I think if we keep going here, it gets good, right? Watch this. Let's go to, verse 19.
Verse 19, thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well.
It says, you believe that there's one God? You got faith in God? Thou doest well. Keep reading.
The devils also believe and tremble.
The devils also believe and tremble. And Azrael, what's the number one question we ask him after we read this verse?
So I really don't.
You asked it last time. The question we asked after this verse is, what makes you different from the devil?
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if you was looking for something specific.
Nah, man, there ain't no trick questions up here. But is what makes you different than a devil? What makes you different than a Satanist? Because if Satanists have to believe in God too. You know what I'm saying? They just choose to be, contrary to that which is. But what makes you different from them? Right.
Because like the parable or the story where Christ was looking for figs on a fig tree and found no fruit, right? Everybody's a tree. Everybody was created by the Most High God, right? So everybody got a tree, but if you don't have no fruit when when the Messiah comes to try to pick some fruit off of your tree, he gonna tell you just like what he told them. Hey, cut that tree down,
Right.
or
Let
he's
no
gonna
man ever eat from this.
you breaking up.
Oh, you was breaking up, brother.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Yeah, no man's gonna eat from that tree. And then you're gonna have brothers and sisters around you, might be your family members, might be friends. No, Lord, just give him another chance. Give him another chance.
And you know why the Lord was so mad, bro? Because you was put on this earth to bear figs, and you're not bearing figs. What are you good for?
Right.
I don't need you. Depart
Right.
from me, I never knew you.
You put on this earth to serve the Most High God through his son. But yet you trying to make it big in the music industry and ain't got nothing to do with God. You trying to make it big in the fashion industry, ain't got nothing to do with God. You trying to make it big in college and get clout. You trying to do all these things under the sun. You trying to get this degree so that you can make the most money you can, right? You trying to do all these things except for be a fig tree, right? That fig tree probably was providing shade. It probably added to the aesthetics of the land, whatever. But it had no figs.
Hey, look, man, and you never know. Like a thief in the night, man. That fig tree didn't know Christ was gonna be walking and was of hunger, right? You never know when your number's gonna be called, right?
And that fig tree can't magically have fruit appear on it, like
because it takes time.
Right. When that fig tree, metaphorically speaking, when that fig tree saw Christ walking up to it, he couldn't be like, "Oh, grow some figs." No, you can't. It takes time, like the brother said.
Either you have it or you don't.
Right. So when Christ comes back, it's gonna be too late for a lot of people. Right. You can't say, "Oh, give me a little bit more time." You can't say, and make up and find some reasons to why you don't have fruit, or try to bring out some old fruit that was already picked off your tree. Right. Because guess what? We got fruit. Yeah, you might have fruit that's already picked off, but that don't count when he come back. If you don't got no more fruit on your tree, it's over with.
And there's not gonna be any excuse, right? We talked about right. We talked about this earlier. And there was a video saying like, I think it was a Facebook post. It was like, what do you, after you go to the next life, what do you think God is gonna be judging you on, right? He's going to be judging you off of the Bible, what's written in black and white. So when he says to you, why were you eating pork? Right? And you can have all the excuses in the world, but at the end of the day, he's going to go to what's black and white. And he's going to say, he's going to read it verbatim. And he's going to ask you, what about this verse made you think that you can eat pork?
Right.
You're going to have no excuse, man. You know what I'm saying?
Celebrate pagan days.
Either you have it or you don't. What's in black and white is what's going to be at the end of the day. That's what's going to stand. Not no doctrine, none of that, right? Not no philosophy. What's in black and white is going to stand, right? Nonetheless, in James, man, this is where we love to go to show people that you're saved by grace through faith, but your faith has to be alive. It cannot be dead. And so for your faith to be alive, it has to be accompanied with works, right? The works of the Bible, which are these laws, statutes, commandments, having the fruits of the Spirit, things of that nature, right? Thou do as well. The devils also believe. So that's what's going to set you apart. Get it? Set apart. That's what's going to make you holy, and the devil's not. That's what's going to set you apart from the devils. That's what's going to keep you in line with the Most High, because both of y'all believe. What's the difference? You keep these laws, statutes, commandments, right? In the faith of Christ Jesus, and the devils don't, right? I want to keep going on this really quick. Go ahead and read this for me. James 2:20.
Look at James chapter 2 and verse 20. But wilt thou now, O vain man, that faith? But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead?
Right, man. Because that's what it is at the end of the day, is vanity. You don't want to keep these laws, statutes, commandments because you like eating pork, right? You like sin. You like vanity, right? The worshiping of yourself and your flesh. You like that. But don't you know O vain man, that faith without works is dead. Your faith is counted for nothing. You can have faith all you want to, but it's not gonna get, because man, you can obtain that grace, but it has to be through faith, and it's not gonna be through your dead faith, right? So the only way you can get that grace is through a live faith, right? Let's keep going. James 2:21.
Verse 21. Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
And we was out on the street one time, man, and this guy, he told us, he said, man, Abraham, the father of faith, he was justified strictly off of faith alone. Just off of faith alone. And we said, man, we got something for you, man. He was an older guy. We took it easy on him, man, but we had to give him, some clarification on Abraham. Yes, Abraham had mighty faith, even to the point where, we're about to read it. But faith, Abraham also has something that he was justified by with as well. You read verse 21 for me.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar?
Come on, man. Not only was he justified by his faith, but that faith was accompanied with the works. Why? Because it was commanded to him to sacrifice his son. And his faith showed that he had. How did he show that he had faith? By doing what he was commanded to do. Right?
Yeah.
Now, this is.
Slovakia.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the New Testament, it does go on a rant about a lot of our patriarchs' faith and the things that showed their faith. But it also goes on a rant of a lot of our patriarchs' works that justified their faith. Like the brothers bringing out here. When you think about Abraham, when you think about Moses, they all had actions. You think about David, they all had actions, right? Yes, they had great faith, but they all had actions, right? We all can remember Abraham for the circumcision. We all can remember Abraham for moving away from his family, right? We all can remember Moses for splitting the Red Sea. We all can remember these things. So we know that they had works. We know that they were not just walking around saying, yeah, I talked to the Father in heaven, so I'm good. They wasn't saying that. They wasn't saying, yeah, the Most High God is dealing with me because I got a relationship with him. He talks to me. I hear an audible voice. They wasn't just saying that. They was actually doing what the Father was asking of them. And that's the difference, because nowadays, all of these people that want to call themselves Christians, right? They just claim that they have a relationship, claim that I've heard an audible voice of God. They just claim that they have such a close tie to the Most High God, and they have no works to show for their actual faith.
Right. Come on, man. So I hope y'all can hold on for me, man. I got 2 more precepts, man. 2 more precepts, and this is how you get to the point really quick, right? Because at the end of the day, this is what we want. Verse 22.
Verse 22. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect?
Your faith has to be perfect. And in order for your faith to be perfect, it has to be accompanied with your works. You cannot have dead faith. You cannot have imperfect faith to be saved by grace. You have to have perfect faith. And we see how Abraham's faith was made perfect because he acted on what he was commanded to do. Obedience, right, is the key. And then we normally tip it off with this. We cap it off with Revelation, right? 14 and 12. Keep in mind, man, these are all New Testament stuff. This is all New Testament stuff. This is, you know what I'm saying? Let's get Revelation 14 and 12 real quick.
Revelation 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
Come on, man. So they'll tell you, I don't like you guys because you guys preach a works-based gospel, right? And we tell them we don't, right? And so at the end of the day, man, we teach both works and faith. It's not solely on works. It's not solely on faith. They are one and the same. They go together, right? You can't have one without the other. Can't eat that fish unless it has fins and scales, right? You have to have both. And in Revelation, we see here that God. Well, this is James with the revelation, right? And he's seeing a vision of those that make it in the end. And he said that everybody that I see that's make the elect, everybody that I see that's a part of the saints, they got two things going on. They keep the commandments of God and they have faith in who the world calls Jesus Christ, right? So if you don't do one or the other, you obviously are not who John saw in his revelation in the end times, because you have to be doing these things, right? You have to be doing these things. Because you got anything else? I do want to share with you guys the video I was talking about. That way you can screenshot it or whatever and go watch it, because it is a pretty interesting video. But do you have anything else? Let me go here real quick. See if I can pull it up real quick. It's an interesting watch. I want to get the strawberry park one. So, dang, man. All right. Let me share my screen. Y'all go watch this video, man. So I'm gonna share my screen. So when you go to type it in, though, don't go watch the original video. I mean, you can if you want to, but when you type it in, you want to type in fat versus fit, and then watch my guys from Strawberry Park, right? These guys, because they add a lot of good commentary as well. It's a very interesting video.
Are they reacting to it or something?
Yeah, they're reacting to it and they're putting their 2 cents into it, which is pretty good too. They're kind of comical, man. They're kind of funny, and I think that they put a little something on the video that make it even that much better. So y'all go watch that, man. It's Fat versus Fit. Type in Strawberry Park behind it, man. They do a lot of reaction videos and give their comments on stuff. It's an hour long, man, but I tell you, man, it's so interesting just to hear about, these people's opinions and stuff, that it flies by. So y'all go watch that in y'all free time, man. Fat versus Fit.
But and try to watch it with spiritual eyes, man.
Kind of, you can do that too, or you can watch it just in general. It's a decent video. It's a decent video, right? You can get something out of it, even if you're not watching it, in that spiritual sense, right? Because
forgive me,
physically, practically, and it's common stuff. I think it'd help anybody's life, to be honest, right? People talk about watching David Goggin videos and stuff like that. It's kind of on that tip, but yeah, man, y'all go watch that. But that is all we got. If you don't got nothing else, man, giving all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of his son, who's an instrument of salvation, who also said, if you're not gathering, you're scattering. So if you're not pushing this truth, man, if you're not keeping these commandments, you're helping to scatter the flock. And that's in the book of Luke, man. Written, he said by our King himself, right? But without further ado, I'm Brother Donal.
Brother Azrael.
And we'll see you guys next time for Think About It Thursday, hopefully.
Gone.